In this video, I'm going to show us how to set up our red line, which is going to be the line that cuts out the wood or the material with the laser. This red line needs to be set up at a 0.001 IN and to tell the laser to cut through the material. So basically we're going to be making a border, and we're also going to be making a hole inside that border. So going to my vector, I have my logo that I made from before. I already have my entire logo selected by clicking and dragging through. And what I'm going to do right away is I'm going to kind of put it down lower in my 2" by 2" space. And then I also want to make sure it's centered as well as possible. And I think mine right now, nudge here or there, left or right, it is pretty much in the middle. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a border. This border can be any shape as long as it fits into your 2" by 2 space, which is the gray outline on the outside, and as long as it also doesn't cut out or interfere with your logo. And you can always make your logo smaller. So I'm going to use the rounded rectangle to click and drag around my piece. It's going to cover up my logo because it has a background. I can get rid of that background right away. That solves that problem. The second thing that I want to do is just make sure this is kind of centered also in my space. And that's done a pretty good job right there. And then I need to make this so I can see the border. I'm going to select the border. I've noticed that a few of my borders have started being very gray. If you ever see yours being gray even though you already have it a color, it's because the opacity has been turned all the way down. Now the next thing is we want to have this being a 2500 color. So if we select it into here, we should be able to delete the 2020 out. And the backspace actually takes you down, down, down on mine. But it should be 25000 and hit enter. That makes it a true red color. That true red color tells it's going to cut. Alright, so once again I lost my space there, so something that now it's all grayed out. It's in the right color though, and then move that opacity all the way to the right. Alright, now the next thing is I had to change this to, instead of 1 pixel, just type in, I clicked and dragged and I accidentally deselected, so change this pixel to 0.072, sorry, I lied, 0.001 IN. That tells it it's a 1007 inch, which tells the laser to cut when it sees a line that thin. So in the red color. Hit enter, and now I have this all set up. Even though it changes to 1 pixel or 0.1 pixel, it should be the same one we just entered in. Don't worry about that. Lastly, I want to enter a circle. So I'm going to click. This allows me just to put a circle at a certain dimension. We're going to put this one as a 0.125 IN. That is 1/8 of an inch. Usually that's an adequate space for certain things to go through or fit through, like a keychain. Rito and Rowan, please be quiet, I'm recording. Sorry, my toddlers are being noisy in the background. And then I want to hit enter. This should be 12 pixels and 12 pixels because I have it linked. It changed both sides at the same time. And then I want to put this in the middle of my piece. Now, the middle of my piece, if I have a 0.125 circle, our X position down here would be like 0.937 IN, which is 937 thousandths of an inch, basically a 16th under, so it goes on the left-hand edge of our circle. Hit enter there, and then up and down, I just want this circle to be in a little further than it is right now, because if it's that thin of material between the outside and my circle, I'm afraid it's going to break. So I want to slide this down a little bit further. And I don't want to interfere with my saw blade, but that's a lot better. It's with the same space there. Deselect to make sure that all of our things are being the right colors. When I deselect, I can see that my red outline for my circle isn't red. So I go back and hover over that, select it again. I'm seeing that I had a different border on there, so I want to change that border once again to red. It's going into the right color. I notice that sometimes I can't see the coding the correct way if I don't have the opacity turned down a little bit. So I'm just going to move it a little bit. That adjustment's just fine, 25500. That should be good to go. And the last number is just the opacity, so that'll be 100% once we get there. And then our size for this, not 0 pixels, but 0.001 IN, enter. Now when I select off to deselect, I can see my outline, my cutout in the middle there, that doesn't have to be a circle. That could be an oval. That could be any shape you make that way for your keychain that way. But this is all ready to export. So lastly, to export for our turn-in, this is our export right here. And then we want to make sure this is going to be downloaded. And then that SVG that it just kicked out right here is the SVG for our document. One thing you can also do is look around here. You can see that I have a little piece of white space that I should probably delete before I export. So I'm going to go back. There's a little circle over here somewhere that's not showing up. That did show up, so I want to delete that out if I can find it. Anyway, hope this helps. Have a good day.